Welcome back. Time for an exclusive conversation then. Tata Power's MD and CEO Praveer Sinha believes that the Discom privatization is the last key change that needs to happen in the power sector. Now, in an exclusive conversation with Sheeren Bhan, he also spoke about the solar rooftop opportunity, power demand and pricing trends. Listen in.
Let's talk about the solar rooftop scheme, Surya Ghar, and what has that meant for you as a company? But more importantly, what do you believe it means for an economy like ours?
So, I think the PM Surya Ghar program is a very, very good program and a very powerful program, which actually brings the access of power to everyone in their homes. So whether it is in urban areas or rural areas, everyone can generate power and use it for themselves, and in some cases they can also supply to the grid. So I think that's a very unique program that the Prime Minister has started, and we strongly believe that it can actually democratize the use of power. And this is a big thing, because the empowerment that you provide to people, where you don't have to actually depend on the grid or depend on an external source of supply, where you can generate your own power. For Tata Power, this is a very big initiative, because we have been into rooftop power for many years. We are the biggest right now. We have nearly 150,000 consumers who have set up nearly 3,000 megawatt, 3 gigawatt of rooftop power. And we strongly believe that the type of reach that we have in the country, and it's right across the country.
Geographically, yeah.
More than 500 cities we are there. We will be able to play a very, very important role. And for us, it's not just about giving them the equipment, but it's also about operating them and giving them the benefit of what Har Ghar Solar program is there.
Let me also ask you about where you find the Discom privatization story at this point in time. We, of course, have some examples in the country where Discom privatization has worked. There are state governments at this point in time that are looking at Discom privatization, and you, of course, expressed your interest in being able to play a part there. Any updates on where things stand, for instance, in UP, etc., which have, of course, expressed their intent?
So I think that Discom privatization is the last key change that has to happen in the power sector. There has been a delay in the way the privatization or public-private partnership should have happened. But I do see now traction, because most of the Discoms are going through huge financial crisis. The total losses of all Discoms put together is something like 6,50,000 crores, and it keeps on adding every year by 60 to 70,000 crores. So there is a huge financial stress in the distribution companies throughout the country, excepting for the state of Odisha, and then some of the smaller places like the Union Territory of Delhi, and then some of the cities in India like Calcutta and Mumbai. Most of the cities or places are still being controlled by the state Discoms. And I think that big change and transformation has to happen. I don't think states can continue to have the financial burden that they have. UP is, of course, first off the block. We do see that at least 2 of the Discoms in UP are looking to have a public-private partnership. Apart from that, I do know that some of the other states are also looking at this opportunity. And I think it's a matter of time that this will happen. Also, I think there is a great awareness amongst the government and the policy makers that you need to bring in more competition, and there can be more than one supplier of electricity. So to that extent, they will bring competition in having more than one supplier, and you can have the option.
Give the consumer the choice.
Yeah, absolutely, of using one supplier or the other, depending upon the type of service that they provide and the quality of service that they provide and the tariff that they provide. So I think it will be a unique experience for consumers if this gets unbundled.
I mean, you know, as a consumer, I would love to have that experience, but do you think I'll have to wait 5 years, 10 years to be able to experience that future?
I think this will happen in next 1 to 2 years.
1 or 2 years?
Yeah.
Really? What gives you the optimism and the confidence?
Because, as I mentioned to you, the financial losses are humongous, and it is time that many of the Discoms took the bold decision of going through the reform. We did it in Odisha, and it has really become a benefit to everyone. The government has benefited because the losses that they were incurring is no more there. The consumers have benefited because they are getting much better quality of service. And the Discom employees have benefited because they are now more empowered and they get to use state-of-the-art technology to provide better services. So I think there is a general benefit and a general sense of happiness right across the sector over there. And this should also get translated in other parts of the country.
So when do you expect UP to tip over?
UP is in advanced stage in terms of the bidding process is expected to start in this month. And I think by the end of the year, we should have some results. But many of the other states also are looking at it. And I do hope that they are able to take a decision sooner than later.
Well, that certainly is going to be something to watch very, very closely. But, speaking of trends, I want to understand from you where we find ourselves as far as power demand is concerned. I mean, we're in peak summer now and, electricity is being used up at this point in time. What do you envisage as far as power demand is concerned?
So India's power demand, both peak as well as energy, has grown by nearly 5 to 6%. In fact, in 2 years, it grew by 8 to 9% in 2022-23. And I do believe that this trend will continue because we have a very robust industrial growth that is happening. We have
a growing economy.
And a growing economy. And there are more number of people who have now the money to buy more electrical equipments, more gadgets. Everyone has more mobile phones, more televisions, more air conditioning and all that. Climate change is also impacting where people use more electricity, especially during summer months. So I do believe that the growth of electricity will continue to happen. Last year we had a peak of 250. This year they're talking of a peak demand of nearly 270 gigawatt. I feel that we are geared up. Of course, there are certain time blocks in the evening that we have a shortage, but those are very, very small shortages. During daytime, we don't have shortages. Fortunately, we have a lot of solar plants which have been commissioned in last few years, and last year also we had nearly 22, 23 gigawatt of capacity add.
With what has happened on solar, what do you believe we could be looking at over the next 5 to 10 years in terms of pricing?
So I think the past prices have stabilized a lot because the basket of supply that is there has now more of renewable capacity, and renewable power, as you mentioned, has the prices have come down drastically, whether it is solar or wind. And we do also see that this prices of battery storage is also coming down. I remember about 5-6 years back, we were at $1,000 per kilowatt hour. Now we are talking of $100, and so it has reduced drastically. And with more and more of clean energy solutions coming in, like pumped hydro and also with nuclear, I do expect that the power prices will virtually stabilize and remain more stagnant rather than the type of escalations one would see with whether it was with coal or gas or oil.
Tata Power in an exclusive conversation there with Sheeren Bhan. By the way,